right, welcome to another episode of Most Man. How we doing out there? Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, boys and girls. We need some comments. Okay, we are on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia. JoinTheMen'sClub.com. TheMostMen.com is the website. Info at TheMostMen.com, MEN.com. We're also on Rumble. Come over to Rumble with us. They're not censoring anybody over there. We can play ball over there with nobody humping our backs. Okay, so, all right, today we have got a cool guest today that I've been super excited to talk to. His name is Chris Maher. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so this is a very, very interesting guy, and I cannot wait to hear his stories. This is going to be fun. So, without further ado, how we doing? Introduce yourself.
I'm doing great. My name's Chris Maher. I'm an entrepreneur. Been very successful on a few ventures, and just happy to join the Most Men Club today.
Yeah. All right. So you got a website or anything?
Yeah. If you want to go to buzzbotanical.com, where we're bringing botanicals to life. I own 20 acres out north of McKinney, and we are growing herbs and botanicals and putting them into products of all, right now, about 7 to 8 categories. And so we're launching that hopefully 2024.
Wow, beginning of the year?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I got to see part of it yesterday. I'm excited to test it out. So Chris was here last week whenever we did Jaime and Brandon. And you and Brandon are, y'all are pretty good buds, and y'all do some joint ventures and stuff together. But you've got a pretty colorful past you've done some things, man. Kind of tell us what you've...
So, I've been a founder of a company, several companies. One of them, I guess the biggest one was in 96. I developed an innovative liquid nutritional supplements. Most people back in the 90s were eating or taking their capsules or their tablets. Powders were coming on, but no one really developed a liquid vitamin or mineral. And that's where... over the course of 7 to 8 months, I developed a brand, called it Tropical Oasis, and we launched that brand in Whole Foods, GNC, and we had, 30, 40 different products, all in liquid. So instead of taking a handful of capsules, you take a shot of a liquid vitamin, and you get the same active ingredients, same dosages, and there's no fillers. It tastes great, and so that company did very well. In 2012, we sold that company, and we were in 9 countries selling up to 30 to 40 products, and we had distributors. And so I took a sabbatical. It kind of went off, and then I started some other companies. I started a cooling towel company. It's just amazing how you can find a niche in the marketplace and fill a void, and that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
So but what everybody needs to know is he invents this stuff. It's not like he just. You're an inventor.
Yes, and so really, when you
are you a scientist?
No, I just trial.
Or a chemist?
It's called trial and error, and it's the old school. You just learn by trying, experimenting. I've got a bachelor's degree in science, so I've got some background, but really, it's just about never giving up on an idea, a concept, and once you develop the invention,
most man moment. That's a most man moment. You don't give up on a
concept. You never give up. And what normally happens is there's walls that have to be broken down. And it may be on the invention, those are the fun walls, because you can do research. You can find out about why does the cooling towel cool? Does anybody know? I didn't know. It's called evaporation. Water evaporates at a certain temperature. Sounds like I'm a scientist, but I'm not a scientist. I just figured it out. So you could be in Dallas or Arizona or anywhere where it's hot, and it could be 105 degrees, but you take that cooling towel, it's evaporating. That water is coming off that towel, and it's evaporating. So that technology is not something I invented. I exposed it. That was already out there. I took the cooling towel concept, I put it into caps, visors, wristbands. Remember in the 70s and 80s? You had the wristbands. The tennis players would have a wristband.
Yeah.
I had wristbands. I brought back the wristband concept. I had running visors. I had baseball caps for baseball players, and then my final invention with that company was an automatic this automatic, rechargeable, personal misting device. No batteries. It was a lithium battery. We had a little lithium battery, and the pump was the size of a quarter. You put it in a thing, and every golf cart has 2 cup holders.
Mm-hmm.
One for beer or 4 cup holders for beers. But hey, look, there's 4 cup holders, 2 on each side.
Right.
I put 2 fogging machines, and it shot the mist up, and it flash evaporates. Water evaporates at a certain degree. So I basically invented an air conditioner for a golf cart. You hit the ball, you drive it down the fairway, and all of a sudden that water evaporates right before it gets to your face, and it's like a 72-degree air conditioner while you're playing in a temperature of 100 degrees.
Yeah, in Texas, freaking brutal.
Yes.
Brutal.
So those are the things that I've done. I look at applications, I look at functions of what's out in the marketplace, and I try to fill those voids. Back in the late 90s, that's where I really I took a vitamin and a mineral, and I combined them. Back then, they were only selling vitamins in a bottle and minerals in a bottle and liquids for that case. And I just took the vitamin and mineral, put it in one solution, save the consumer $30 a bottle. Each bottle was $30. I could sell both of them combined for $30. So those type of concepts and call it an invention, or basically you're just being aware of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking for voids in the marketplace.
And they're everywhere. Yeah. So that's a new right now what we're doing is that's why we're building this brand, but we've got several we're doing the same thing because you can't that's just like why I have to drink out of this, or we can't have labels. It's all this copyright stuff going on online. Yeah. And so everybody's coming up with they're finding a gap in the market in something.
Yes.
Okay. Like Mr. Beast, I don't know if you know who Mr. Beast is, or
the chocolate guy.
Yeah,
I've heard of him.
He's the biggest YouTuber of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that kid, I don't know how old he's probably 26, 27, but dude, he's a billionaire already.
Oh yeah.
But he's taking on Hershey's. That's where he's going. It's just like Logan Paul with Prime. He's
taking on Gatorade.
Pepsi,
Coca-Cola.
Okay, it's the Happy Dads that I drink. They're going. I mean, they're going to be a big. Those dudes are 27 and under.
Right.
Yeah. So think about there. And I'll get into some of my stuff. I mean, we've talked about doing the pickle thing,
mm-hmm.
right? I think about, but you can look at pecani sauce. We've been eating the same freaking garbage pecani sauce for the last. You know what I mean? It's
50 years.
Yeah, it's garbage. Yeah.
Now let me tell you something about that. That's where you see Mr. Beast and all the YouTube guys. The brands are going to change, and that's why I'm here today, because all the big brand names, they're going to be fighting against the guy that's the David and the Goliath. We're going to look at David's and say, holy crap, that guy's making an impact in the chocolate industry, and that's been going since probably the 1900s, early on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the market's changing because of the influencers, and it's shows like this that will help expose what's out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, and it's everywhere. Okay, so I'll without going into my story, that's what I did in the concrete business. Is I disrupted. I was a chimney sweep before I got in the concrete business, and it's a hard business to get into.
Oh, yeah.
Because what they do is they control you by your material, your supplies, your suppliers. And your suppliers are your competition.
Right.
Like TXI, all those kind of guys, they're in the sand, gravel, and cement business. So if they don't want you working in a certain market, you just all of a sudden, we're tight on materials.
Yep.
Okay. So what I did, how I got in and how I survived was I didn't want the volume. I wanted all the crumbs.
Yep.
I wanted all the people that the big guys didn't care about.
Exactly.
And then I charged a premium for it, and I treated them like royalty.
Yep.
Service, product, and then we exploded because we put our competitor under. Okay, but now all of a sudden I was a force to be reckoned with. Like we were taking over markets. Okay, so that's what they did to me. They started squeezing me on my material, tightening me up, not allowing me to grow, but I still could get enough to be competitive. So that's why they came in and bought me out, is because they were like, we got to get this kid out here, because it was so simple.
Yep.
It was so simple because we didn't operate like a corporation. We operated on common sense, and the customers loved it, and they would pay a little bit extra for it.
Of course.
We'd be there when we said we were going to be there. Those other companies, they tell you when you're going to do your job. And you got 30 guys standing around making $20 an hour.
Yeah. So how would have you felt if you would have been the owner of the supply chain? If you own the concrete, the gravel, the sand, it changes the whole dynamics.
Well, it's a bunch of corporate power hungry assholes.
Yeah, but if you would have owned it, you could have even made more money.
Oh yeah.
But so that the fact that you did that is impressive, because normally when you go in and you make something better service and you're charging more money, that it's normally in a very niche market. You're going after someone that's not going to be looking at you. You were very visible in that marketplace because there's concrete's a commodity. It
is, but here's the thing: is that there was so much. So I started in 2008 because I want to get back to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
But 2008 is when everything fell apart.
Yeah.
It was the worst recession the construction industry had ever seen. So that was I'm going after the guys that, even though now they're running back trying to beg for their business because they want every bit of business that they can get right now. They'll stomp on them in the good times, but in the bad times they come running back going, hey, because they call it COD work. That's where you make your money.
Right.
It's higher priced. They don't have the volume, but they'll dump you. You could have a 100-yard job you're doing, which is a decent pour. That's 10 loads of concrete. Okay.
Right.
Call you the morning that you're out there ready to go to work and say, hey, sorry, we had a bigger pour that came in. We'll have to get to you later on today, or we'll reschedule. Yeah. Have a good day.
And you got men on the job site. And
those are the guys I went after. I went after all those guys.
Yep. And
we never bumped them, ever.
Yeah.
So, what? How should I ask this? So what's your new program? What's your new? I mean, we got plenty of time. Yeah. We got plenty of time. So I want to, but what do you want to bring to the table right now? What are you doing right now?
So right now,
or do you want to? Yeah, do you want to go on to that already?
Let's go into it. Yeah. So I've been very fortunate in my life. I've had a lot of failures, obviously, and I've had a lot of successes, and I'm going back to my roots where
most failures is where you make your gains.
No doubt.
That's when the gains happen. And
a lot of times when we spend 80% of our time with the people we work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing you want to make sure you do is you do what you enjoy doing. I mean, you don't want to go to a job and say, I hate my job. I hate the people I work with. I can't stand this place. So really the environment that you create when you're an entrepreneur, it's wide open. You can create your own team. You can make the decisions. It's like my wife used to tell me, you're the king of your own castle. Make the decisions that's best for you and your family and your employees. So right now I'm in between ventures, and I'm working on several things to make sure that this journey is going to be successful. I don't want it to be a commodity, because anybody can come in and steal the business. I want to make sure that there's a little intellectual property. I want to make sure that I can control the supply chain. Maybe not control it, but there's enough supply chain to where pricing becomes not a non-issue, and it becomes what you just said, selling service and a better mousetrap. So I've been growing and raising and farming a product called an herb called the Buzz Button. You guys can Google it on there, and it actually gives you a tingling effect. It's like taking a bite of a 9-volt battery. Well, why would I want to do that? Well, if you think about it, you could tone it down, increase it up. I'm going to be making the biggest one I'm going to be doing, and it's almost finalized, is the Buzz Salt. So when you put salt around a margarita in the bar and restaurant business or beer, it's normally just salt. maybe a little lime on the side, but I have got this botanical that it just enhances the flavor of anything you drink after you take some salt and you incorporate or infuse this Buzz Button. It's called Spillanthus is the actual Latin name is Spillanthus, and what it does, it gives you that. It's a toothache, almost like a toothache tingling. It soothes you. It gives you an enhancement to where now I'm at the bar, and so really that's my big push is going to be trying to sell Buzz salt from a botanical that I can incorporate to sodium chloride, which is salt.
Yeah. So, and salt and beer go hand in hand.
Yeah, and that market's huge on that. But really, guess what? That's a commodity. Salt's a commodity, but I'm taking that salt and I'm enhancing it to where it does become special. It becomes unique, and I will have a patent on the ingredient. So I've already filed patents on the ingredient, and so it should be a very, very interesting journey. I know it doesn't happen overnight.
As I was about to say, what's your time frame on that?
I'm going to launch it in 2024. Hopefully, produce some revenues. I'm going to go after some of the bigger accounts, some chains. Guys that like to drink beer, and where there's 100 plus beer taps on the wall when you go into the bar. Those are the kind of places, and they're everywhere. So it's a very interesting venture that I'm going to be going on.
Do they welcome you with open arms, like HEB, Brookshire's, all those kind of like specs? Because I used to be in the coffee. We talked about the coffee thing. I don't want to go down that road, but thanks COVID. I was like, I talked to some of the managers at Specs, and they were like, once a month we have you just go down to Houston, bring your product. If they taste it, like it.
Yep.
So, do they welcome you with open arms, or is it a challenge?
The challenge is getting in and getting the appointment. If you get the appointment and you don't have a unique selling feature, and you're just selling beer salt, well, we got that.
Beer salt, yeah.
But we're selling we're going to be making it, flavorful, something that's going to be different, and that's how you get into Whole Foods or a big, liquor store chain. You got to show that you are different from the competition.
But it seems like HEB and Brookshire's, from what I was just like the whole pickle thing that I'm talking about. It seems like they allow those smaller brands to get in.
So in order to get into one of those stores or chains, normally they have a schedule. They have a planogram, and then when you get an appointment, they'll say, well, we have an appointment. And you may call today and send an email and fill all the paperwork out. It may be 2 weeks or 2 months before you get in the door. And when you get in there, you got one shot.
Yeah.
And you're looking, as a salesperson, you're looking for a reason to come back the next time. I've got another flavor. Would you be interested in me coming back and sharing another flavor? Something just to develop that relationship. I mean, that's where the businesses flourish. It's all about personal relationships, service, salesmanship, ethics, honesty, trustworthy.
Right.
All that makes a difference when you're developing a new product.
And you deliver what you say you're going to deliver.
Yeah, if you say it's going to be there in 2 weeks, it's got to be there in 2 weeks.
No, I mean, like you're saying, I'm bringing something you've never seen before, and then you deliver that, and they're like, whoa.
Yes. My invention with the fogger, I called it the fogger, it was the misting device, was interesting because I sold that thing. I started selling that at $149. Well, you can buy a misting device for $19.99 or $9.99 in a store.
Right.
$10. I'm selling the same device, but it's a little bit different for $149, $159. Now, knowing that I was way high, my cost of goods was about $20, $25. I'm like, I can go direct to consumer for $50, or I can stay at $159 and give a distributor and get everybody involved. I actually won at a golf show, the PGA golf show in Las Vegas. I was one of the best new inventive apparatus, product, whatever you want to call it. And that was great. I thought, man, I hit a home run. It still takes salesmanship to get that product to the marketplace. It was a great invention. They appreciated it. They even gave me an award for it. But if I couldn't get it into the golf clubs, I really went after, I couldn't get it in there. It doesn't do any good. Now, I sold lots of them, but it was a tough sale because people looked at the commodity of a misting device for $9, $10, $20, and they were going to say, I'm paying $100 for this or $150. So it's a very, very difficult. It just depends on the application. So that's what I'm hoping for in this new buzzbotanical.com is to get a few products in the marketplace and really attract the masses. And that's why I'm here today.
So you're going to go volume this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I am.
Well, it depends on what you're selling, but sometimes that what you said about the niche, you got to find the niche. You got to find the niche.
And you said they're all over the place. And that's
in big box retail, it seems like it's everywhere.
Yes. When you go and you experience something, or you're aware of something that's happening, and you see a product or something that says, "Man, I could just do a little bit. If I just could do a little bit different with that product, or if that product did this for me," that's your next journey. It could be your next journey.
Yeah, I got to check this Exhibit A. Okay, I was at Costco a couple months ago. Yeah, 3 or 4 months ago, something like that. It was summertime, and I walked. They're doing samples and all that, and I cut out sugar. Okay, so I've been fasting for a year or somewhere around there. But anyway, I cut out sugar. She's like, "Do not pass this sample up." It was ice cream. It was had a brownie in it and ice cream. And I was like, "Man, I cut out sugar." And she said, "This is the best ice cream you will ever have." And of course, in my head, I'm like, better than Bluebell.
Yeah, really.
And she's like, "Get over here and try this ice cream."
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever had Costco ice cream?
No.
Dude, go get some.
It's vanilla.
I told the guy, they were giving samples away again the other day, and the guy said the same thing. I cut sugar out. I was like, "Dude, you better try this." He said, "There's no way that shit's better than Bluebell." And I said, "Try it." He walked out. It comes in 2 gallon,
Yep.
1 carton and 2 cartons. He bought 3 cartons.
That's crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's that good. My son would sit there and eat, I mean, a bowl, and he was like, "This is the best ice cream I've ever had in my life." But
let me tell you something about that experience you just had. When I sold my liquid vitamins to Whole Foods, at one time we were doing 200 demos, in-store demos per month. And it was for that very reason. Well, you take vitamins and minerals? Yeah. Well, how do you do it? I do it in a pill form. I do it in a tablet form. I do it. Have you ever tasted a liquid vitamin? You could have one a day just in a shot of vitamins instead of taking a handful of pills. Just so.
Taking a handful of pills will choke you.
Yeah. Let me tell you that in-store demo, that personal relationship, not only with the consumer, but with the staff. Oh, I'd go in and I would sit down and say, "Who wants a free bottle of vitamins? What do you need? Have you ever heard of us?" And so I'm selling the staff, but I'm doing the demo to get the product off the shelf to the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
And when I leave, guess what the staff does? They sell my product.
That's right.
They sell my product. So you have to build allies. You just told your son, you just told somebody else that, "Hey, this product is great. You got to try it." Well, that's the experience that a new entrepreneur needs to look for. Yeah. This is going to change the way they perceive or feel when they take my product.
That happened to me. I did 4 shows, and Tim over there in the corner, but everybody that subscribes here knows who Tim is. But so I did the marijuana show. I did the International Builders Show, the SHOT Show, and then the World of Concrete, and then we did there was one other no-namer. My coffee was that good, okay? And I wasn't even thinking about, I was just thinking about there's a lot of vendors here, the big conferences or what do you call those things? Trade shows, yeah. So there's just going to be a lot of business owners here, and I want to try to see if I can pick up the corporate business for the office of the people that are there.
That's cool.
So I sampled my coffee, and I could only do 3 ounces at a time. Dude, we went through the marijuana show. I don't know how many gallons of water I went through because I was having to buy. I didn't know that it was going to be that much.
Right.
I ran out of water by noon, and I was having to buy water from the freaking Vegas convention. They wanted to charge. Tim, how much were they wanting to charge for a bottle of water, or 5 gallons of water?
$50, and then you had to pay for them to deliver it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
For a 3-gallon jug of water.
Yeah, but you had to do it because people are loving your product.
Yeah, well, Starbucks. They had a Starbucks out in the Causeway, and they were like, who in the fuck is in there giving out free coffee? We have no business.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we became a destination. We're over by Shamrock Coffee.
Yep.
You ever watched Boys in the Hood?
Yes.
Okay, remember Debo?
Yeah.
I've got a video of Debo riding his bicycle by my coffee stand.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but no, dude, orders out but it was that good when they tasted it. They were like, everybody's like, oh yeah, who's not going to take some free coffee, right?
Yeah, we may have to go after that business again, man.
Dude,
that's a business that is
it's good margin.
It's a commodity,
and it's good margins
with CBD as a little bit of a uniqueness.
Yeah, that's what, at the marijuana show. That's what everybody wanted me to do, is because I told you about the K-cup machine.
Yeah,
they wanted me to CBD infuse coffee into K-cups, and then all these other. I had like a guy that owned 100 Shell stations in California wanting me to put my coffee in his gas stations.
Yeah, and there's people that do those routes. You might not know this, but there's convenience store companies, small distributors all over the U.S. that they have a route.
Yeah, well, there was another guy that I met that bottled all of Pepsi's products. He had everything north of the whatever line cuts the United States in half, and he had the northern section distribution for Pepsi and all. And he was wanting. He's like, dude. He's like, can you get this? Can you get your product up to speed to where I want to bottle this stuff and label it mine and white label it?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It happens.
And then COVID. The World of Concrete was the last show that I did, and that's they were talking about shutting everything down. And I was like, God Almighty, dude, this just killed my business.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to get off track there. But yeah, it's having that niche product, and you're it sounds like from what Brandon was telling me that's gonna it's gonna kill it, man.
The thing is,
so what is the ingredient that gives you the buzz? I mean, I know it's that you don't have to tell your secrets.
It's called spillanthus, and the thing is, it's
what does it feel like?
It feels like a 9-volt battery if you took a bite of it, but you don't have to look. If you can dose it into a product and make it just enhance it, not shock you. I mean, I've thought about doing a TikTok challenge, 5 buds in one chewing, and your whole mouth would just be electric. And it's totally different than you've ever felt in your life.
But it feels good.
Some people just think it would be a teenage thing where it wouldn't be harmful. It's just
eat a
something
tablespoon of cinnamon.
They're gonna say, hey, I challenge you to do this. It's crazy feeling. It's a crazy feeling. So the reason I came up with the idea, I'm in Vegas. I'm at a trade show. I'm at the Cosmopolitan, and I don't drink liquor. I'm a beer guy, right? So I'm ordering a beer, and the 2 girls that were my coworkers were with me, and the whole bar is like, you gotta try it. So they give me this thing. I don't know what it was called, Novocaine, or I don't know. It was a drink that had this little flower on top of it, and I'm like, let's do it. I drank it, took a bite of the flower, and my mouth just salivated and just is like electrifying. And I never thought twice about it. 3-4 months later, I'm like, dang, I'm in the R&D lab at my company. I'm formulating, vitamins, minerals, drinks, stick packs, powders, tablets, capsules, and boom. I wonder how that would work in lip balm. I want to put chapstick, or I wonder how that would work in salsa. You mentioned picante sauce. That was my first, because that would just enhance the flavor of salsa. It's almost, and when you breathe in, after you take it, you feel that almost like menthol. But this is different. It's a little different. So I thought, and it's a journey, right? I said, it's a journey. I started playing around with it. I've got a personal lubricant that I've developed. I've got the lip balm that I've developed. Those two are done. My biggest one is this Buzz salt. It's going to be salt that's going to, every sip of beer you take is going to make that beer taste 10 times better. And that's what I'm going to promote. And I'm not only going to have access to the raw material, I'm going to grow the raw material on my 22 acres out in Anna, Texas.
Is Texas conducive for it year round?
Yes, it's almost like it's
got to be a tough plant to survive Texas.
It's a tough plant, man. It's like a daisy. It's a typical daisy, so it's really cool. I'm doing the bullseye. There's one that's a lemon drop that's just straight yellow, and then there's one that's
what about cough drops?
Great idea. I've got 9 different categories.
And make it with going through exactly what you're going through right now.
Yes.
I cannot stand all this shit medicine that they got on the shelf that full of sugar and all sorts of. My son's friend is smart enough. I mean, they're a very natural family. Like, I mean, hell, I think he cracked his arm, and his dad was just like bought him a sling, and he's like slinging. That's all they're going to do at the doctor. Sling it up, boy.
Yeah,
you know. But I'm just saying, he was at my house and he was coughing and hacking and all that, and I was like, "Here, take this. That'll help out." And he said, "Fuck no, I ain't taking that stuff." And this is a 14-year-old kid. Yeah. He said, "That shit's garbage. I ain't putting that in my body."
Yeah.
And it was Ricola.
Yeah, you know.
It wasn't Halls.
Yeah, there's levels of natural people out there. There's the tree huggers all the way up, even higher than that. You know, hey, respect all of them, right?
Right, but I'm just saying, I don't trust a fucking thing our government does. I don't trust anything that they're injecting in our shit. And just because the FDA says it's okay. You know about when I was getting in the coffee business, the rules that I had to follow, I was like, oh, dear God, this is what our food manufacturers are following? Mm-hmm. This shit, it was nothing. I was like, man, the concrete business is harder than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, all I got to do is buy a little freaking podunk restaurant and I can start bagging coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, coffee's considered a food, so yeah, you're right. The entry to the market is much lower. You talked about entry to the market in the concrete business. It's
tough.
Capital expense. It's
big.
Yeah.
It's
big.
It's $5 million up front, straight up.
You got to have money to support that business model. You know, you can do something on a small scale,
which we did. That's what we did. In fact, Tim is the one that got me in the concrete business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he introduced me to his buddy. I bought some trucks off his buddy.
Yeah,
one of his golfing buddies. Yeah,
and you're in.
Well, we won't go into this with me, but basically, the guy that we put under, he pissed me off, and I was like, "We're going in the concrete business."
Yeah,
and we're gonna take all the crumbs from him.
That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah, and my right hand man, the guy that used to be with me at the company. He just ran. I went to go dump my dad's ashes up at Yellowstone National Park in the Snake River because he was like, that's God's country up there. Have you ever been up there?
Oh yeah,
dude, it's beautiful. Okay, so I'm up there, and this was like a spiritual journey for me, right? Like this was just last minute decision, go up there to do that, and all of a sudden this guy we split on bad terms, not horrible terms,
right.
And I'm not going to get into it, but he knew about this most man. I've been talking about this for years. I just couldn't figure out how to market it. I can do it here.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay, but what I'm getting at is here I just had one of the most coolest spiritual like trips that just felt so fucking good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And all of a sudden I look on my phone and it says his name. And I'm like, he subscribed to my channel? And he's already commenting and shit, texting me, hey, call me, man. I mean, so this, and me and him and my dad were inseparable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
This kid came in with me at the bottom, and he would stay late because he cared about the company. He helped build the company because he cared about it. And he knew that by sticking around and doing it, he had do right.
Yeah.
Okay. And my point to this was that we built that thing from nothing. And everybody was like, who in the hell are these kids?
Yeah.
Getting into the into the men's club. Talk about joining the men's club. Okay. That's where I got that from. That's what my banker told me. He said, I said, man, the concrete business is a top business. He said, yeah, you're joining the men's club, man.
No doubt.
And he said, you ain't in the, you're getting in the country club men's club now. You're not running with your average guys, right? So what I'm getting is we did start small from nothing.
Yeah.
And we survived on crumbs.
Well, and the thing is, in '96, I threw $1,500 in on my company.
Yeah.
I never looked back. $1,500. That's nothing.
It's awesome.
And I bought enough finished product to sell. When I sold it, roll it back in, roll it back in, roll it back in. And the passion is what drives businesses. And it doesn't happen overnight. It just takes time. But you gotta be passionate. You gotta be able to be driven, and you gotta grind. I've seen a lot of people that are entrepreneurs that they grind for a week or two or a month or even 6 months. They're not successful. They're not successful. They give up. There's a lot of men that will just go down that path and they'll say, I'll try it, but if it doesn't work, I've got plan B. Well, you got to go into a venture as there is no plan B.
Mm-mm.
This is it.
Failure's not an option.
Failure's not an option. I'm going to do what it takes to get it to the next level. And if that means 6 bottles to get an order for 6 bottles. When I started my cooling towel business, it took me 4 weeks to get my first order. My first order was 6 cooling towels. 6. And I'm like, oh, God, what am I going to do? I got to have to get thousands of these customers just to make a living. And lo and behold, didn't give up. Boom, right place, the right time, success. Right place, right time, success. And it's just one of those things where you cannot give up on a dream.
It's remember those old commercials, that old man pushing that rock up the hill?
Oh yeah.
Okay, but even if you're starting on level ground, you're still pushing that big heavy rock.
Yep.
But the beauty of most man moment, okay, is once you get a little momentum, you got to keep pushing, got to keep pushing. But sooner or later, that rock catches speed.
Yep.
And then it's chasing you.
And then you can't stop it.
You can't stop it. It's chasing you down. That's what I used to tell my dad. And boom, this guy I'm talking about.
I want to make a statement on that though, because this, I'll qualify my statement, because here's the deal. I took it in between my vitamin company and my cooling towel company, and I've tried this, tried that. I went to work for a company that they really didn't have a unique selling feature. And so I never give up. But then I'd go in front of a customer and say, so you're more expensive on the product. You really have no differences. Why would I buy from you? And quite honestly, I didn't have a good answer. So unless you have something that's a little unique, that's why I kept on talking about this unique selling feature or this niche in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
You got to present something to a buyer that's a little bit better, a little bit different, maybe a better price. Service is relative. I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
And you can make a business on service if you're selling to somebody that service is not even important to.
Yeah.
You can build a business around that. But you could get squeezed out if somebody else comes in with a better price and the same service. So you really want to go after, as an entrepreneur, something that makes you totally different than what they're used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to have a need or a market. There has to be a reason why somebody said, man, that's cool. I want to buy that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I'm in between. I'm helping Brandon with his apples. We'll take a look at Brandon. Brandon says, let me do a hydration drink, pickle juice. I said, buddy, pickle juice is everywhere. What makes you different?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you got to do something. He said, well, I said, why don't you add apple cider vinegar? He goes, that's a great idea. And then he came back and he showed me a picture of all the drinks at HEB, and it was Prime, which is hydration.
Mm-hmm.
It was coconut water, and it was apple cider vinegar. I said, just combine. And then you saw pickle juice in the left-hand corner, kind of hidden over there with the little with the little bottles. I said, let's combine them all. Or he said, let's combine them all. I said, yeah, you'll have the best hydration drink on the planet.
Market. Yeah.
Yep. And at the same price, and we'll make it at the same price. So that's a unique selling feature. Say, hey, it's not just pickle juice, it's just not coconut water, and it's not just apple cider vinegar. We've combined them all to make a super drink for hydration in the athlete. And with pickleball as the fastest growing sport in the country,
Yeah.
you know, he's got the name Pickle. He's the pickle guy.
Yeah.
So he can go in any park or recreation and sell pickle juice, his new pickle juice.
Well, see, that's why I want to get in the pickle game is because I've got a company called Tickle My Pickle.
Yeah.
I was going to do pickle reviews,
That's a great idea.
on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I am going to do it. That's why I've got those are my hats.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So I've even got some shirts that but I'm going to do that and salsa. And I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm making my own pickle.
You gonna do salsa?
Hell yeah.
We'll put some of the
Hell yeah.
botanical in there to make it
Yeah.
a little bit better than everybody else's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in the pickle.
Yeah. We can. We definitely can.
Yeah. So, but what was I going to say? But yeah, it's getting like with what you're doing, and I want to dive into the other product that as far as you want to dive into it, it's up to you.
Which one?
The lube.
Yeah.
But what I was saying before, we didn't get sidetracked, but you made a beautiful point. But is just for these guys out, all of them out there, that and future listeners, is that if you just work hard, do the right thing, the money comes with it, and it comes. And once you get that momentum,
You can't stop it.
you cannot stop it. It runs you over.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of it.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of the hunt and the chase and the thrill of the unknown.
Absolutely.
That's what that's what I used to love about my offshore charter service.
Well, that's what most men live for.
Yeah, it's
They love the chase.
they
Look,
love.
how many times in college and high school you chase the girl, you capture her, you get her, and then you're like,
It's done.
the chase is done, right?
Yeah,
Maybe it's
But-
the same way in business.
but I love the that's what drives me is the thrill of the unknown. I like that feeling of, you know what I mean? Like, is this? Am I fucking? Am I fucking
much.
crazy? If am I fucking crazy, or do I have something here? Everybody in my family calls me crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man.
But
That's
we're cut from entrepreneurs are cut from some. I mean, there's not a. I don't even think we're cut from cloth. You know.
You know, I worked for previously a serial entrepreneur, and he told one of the general managers that I know, he said, if it's going smooth, I'm not comfortable. I might just do something to
Blow it up.
change
Yeah.
put a little organized chaos in place, you know. But yeah, you know, you live when you can't wait to get up in the morning to go to work, you know you're in the right position.
Yeah.
If you wake up every morning and you say, oh God, if I can only sleep another 20 minutes, oh man, I just want to lay here.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got to go to work. You know, you got to look at yourself and say, this ain't what I want to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of men can do it for the rest of their lives. And I'm not one of those guys.
I'm not either.
I cannot stay in bed saying, I wish I could stay in bed 10 more minutes, maybe just 20. You know, I do it sometimes, but you know what? There's a day when I said, I can't wait to go to work. I can't wait to chase the elephant. Let's go capture that new account. Let's go get that appointment. Let's make some progress today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an undescribable feeling.
Yes, it is.
And the feeling you get whenever the momentum starts, that's when the you know what I mean? That feeling when you taste the momentum just starting to go in your favor. And here's the thing: don't listen to the noise out there. No, why would anybody want to do it? Because that's how I think.
Yeah,
I'm going to show you it's attainable. You know, but what I'm saying is, don't listen. for them out there is what I'm saying. Don't listen to the noise. I mean,
how many times have you got the ball rolling and either a regulator or customer or someone gave you some bad news and you looked at it and you said, there's so many times when you look at that, it's almost like, okay, they're coming after me. I'm doing too good.
Yeah.
I've got things going my way. Those are the days when you have to be mentally tough and say, nope.
Not today.
Nobody's going to rent space in my head.
Yeah. Not today.
Nobody's going to rent space in my head.
That makes me bow up.
Yeah. You know, we talked before the show, and I said, how'd you handle it? You said, shit, I'm fight back.
That's
I'm
right.
not going to give up.
No, hell no. And and
a lot of people just roll over.
No.
And if you get hit with a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of trials and tribulations, you know, you got to consider it pure joy. Hey, bring it on.
Yeah, it builds character, man.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
bring it on.
Well, here's the thing. It's just like we're not going to get into politics, but I'm just saying, if you let them poke you in the chest and you don't poke back, see, that's when I was in the concrete business. That's one of the consultants when I was selling the company. I was like, why are y'all paying this much for this?
Yeah.
He's like, people are tired of you poking them in the eye. And I said, I'm not poking anybody in the eye. I said, I'm poking back.
Yeah.
They don't like, they can poke me, but I can't poke back. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Come on. I ain't scared of you. You know, and then when they came in, you know, well, the CFO, we're trying to figure out how you're rolling at 25% profit margins. We've been fighting like hell for 100 years to get 16, 17. You know, we want to hire you as CFO of the position, blah, 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 blah. It's, you know, because they were making a move to Texas and they needed somebody down here to control the money. They're a Canadian company, okay? They're like, you know, well, what's the first thing you do? I said, I'd fucking fire him, and him.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And they said, well, they've been here for, I said, I don't give a shit. I said, you pay him $150,000 a year to drink and play golf.
Yeah.
You pay him $150,000 a year to play solitaire. You pay him $150,000 to fucking breathe.
Yeah.
Well, we've been here for, well, there's 6% right there.
Yeah.
I do their job every day. I'm here by 9. I play solitaire for an hour and a half, then I'm teeing off by 1, and I don't bitch.
Yeah, no doubt.
What the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
Just stupid. That whole corporate mindset is just so insane. And you're not going to change their mind.
No.
It's insanity.
It's habitual. It is habitual. What happens is...
what's your take on that? Why is that mind? Why can they... Is it because it's the college that instills that in them? And what is it?
No, man. I tell you what it is. It's the death of every company. It's called apathy. It's lack of care. That is the death. You know, you can say it's mismanagement. You can say it's this. You can say it's that. But really, if you look at any company that's either suffering from a profits, suffering from employee disgruntledness, some teamwork, it's because there's people within that organization that don't care. They just don't care.
Oh,
Just give me my check. Let me go home. Let me have my dinner with my wife. But as far as work goes, they owe me that money. Whether I perform or not, they owe it to me.
yeah.
And that's where entrepreneurs are different. They care. They want to make changes. They become disruptors. And when the corporate world sees all this, they say, whoa, we've done this for 20 years. We can't just go and fire Joey. Joey's the owner's son's nephew's cousin, whatever. And you're like, but what's he do? He don't care.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care. So I think, you know, passion, we talked about passion. Passion drives the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have issues. You're going to have obstacles. And a lot of the obstacles are the people that are going to be around you. Those are the biggest ones.
I'll tell you the biggest eye-opener I had when I sold that company was not the biggest, but one of the majors is we live by the word structure. We ran a tight ship, okay? And as soon as when we turned the volume up to 10, we went to 15. And then once we got it to 15, we went to 20. And watch everybody just fall in line.
Yep.
They don't care what the fucking rules are. They just need rules.
Yep.
They're the lambs, you
Yep.
know. Just tell me where I need to go.
Well, you know what the best I read a book From Good to Great. You should probably, a guy named Collins wrote that book, and it took case studies like Southwest Airlines, all these companies that went from good to great.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The key ingredient in every one of those is the people actually felt a part of
The company.
the team,
Yes.
company.
And that's my point was when I sold the company, I had like a month to get all my stuff out of my office.
Yep.
So I'd come back and forth. And it wasn't even a week. You know, because I thought everybody hated me.
Yeah, they cried their eyes out. You cried your eyes out.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I was crying when I announced it. But what my point is that within a week, I thought everybody hated me.
Yep.
Okay. Like I'm talking even while I was there, like, you know, they were like, God, you're such a hard ass. And, you know, I'll fire you. If I said that y'all aren't going to do that and y'all do that, you're getting fired.
Yep.
And I'll make an example of anybody around here.
Called insubordination.
Yeah. So, less than a week, I had half of those people walking up to me, people that I thought hated me the most, walking up to me going, God, we wish you were back.
Yep.
You know, like now we understand why you were the way you were.
Yeah.
And we wish you were back.
Let me
go ahead.
Let me tell you. So when you have a team that you can develop and you grow and you create a trust between employer, employee, team, and you get to that team. It took me. I went back. A lot of times I go back in my history to see what I've done, what I did right, what I did wrong, so I could not make the same mistakes again. Right.
Right.
It took me 7 years to develop a team when I started my company. 7 years. Now, can I do it faster than that now? Absolutely. Can I do it in half the time? Yeah. I could probably do it in 2 years now or less.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about employees and you think about the team you want around you, you want people that care, that are passionate, that are attention to detail, that really want to really take their job as I'm getting paid for a service that I'm providing. And the boss ain't paying me. I'm not paying them. It's the customers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the employees really miss out. They don't realize that when you work for AT&T or a big company, they don't realize that every phone user's paying their paycheck. I don't think they really think that. They think that AT&T is paying them.
Yeah.
And it's AT&T's fault when they don't get their bonuses or whatever. But really, it's the
consumer.
It's the consumer that pays all these things. And so you really got to consider when you develop a team. And that's what I really my next deal is going to develop a team quicker than I've ever developed a team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put people in there that I know are passionate, that I know it would if work's over at 3:30 every day or 5 o'clock, they come in and they're out at 5:01, but we have work to do. That's an indicator. It's
Mm-hmm.
simple. But if the guy says, "Hey, I can stay late," how much more do we got to get done? Those are the types of people that you're looking for, and those are the ones that you need help as an entrepreneur. And, it's always nice to say, I'm going alone. I'm going to do this myself. I can do everything.
You can't do it alone.
You can't.
No.
You got to have.
You're only as good as your team.
Yep.
And that was one of the biggest, that was the biggest lesson that I learned when I sold the company, is that I was like, God, and it was less than a week too. I remember the day I thought about it, I was standing out in my driveway drinking a beer at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, nothing to do. Like, what the fuck am I going to do now? But my whole thought was, what the hell did I just do? I said, I just got rid of a lot of good people that got me here.
Yep.
And I'm holding a lot of money. Now, they got money too. Don't get me wrong. They trust me, I watered my horses.
Yeah.
Okay, and I always water my horses.
Yeah.
But that was the biggest thing that hit me the heaviest, was like, damn. I had a lot of good people I had a good team that helped me do this, and I don't have them anymore.
Yeah. But you got a pocket full of money, which is great for the time being. But let me tell you what.
I tell you right now, it's like my dad. Okay. You talk about things running so smooth and all that. That was my dad. He was a ticking time bomb. Okay. He was the most hardworking guy we had there. And when you needed him, he was there.
Yeah.
Okay. But when things were running a little bit too smooth, go find him and lock him in a fucking cage. Okay. Because he's about to blow something up.
Right.
You know, I'd pull up, and they'd be walking up, shaking their, employees are shaking their hand, and they're walking up. Oh my God, dear God, what did he do today? And, you're walking up there, you're never going to guess what your dad did. And I'm like, what? He tore up an anvil. Okay, well, why'd you give him an anvil? He's the only person here capable of tearing up an anvil.
Right.
Okay? And then here he comes walking down the hill, shaking his head, going, and I'm like, why the hell did you tear up an anvil? He said, well, if you wouldn't buy that Chinese fucking steel, it wouldn't have broke in the first place. So it's the Chinese steel's fault, not his fault that he broke an anvil.
Right.
It's the cheap Chinese steel. If I'd buy the right anvil, it wouldn't have broke. So it's essentially it's my fault.
Right.
Not his fault. It's my fault.
That's how it works, man. With
Yeah.
dads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's a good point. Good to great.
Yeah.
That's how I built all my companies. That's how we're building this.
Yeah. The thing is, and this common denominator in all those case studies that they did, they took companies that were good, but they went to great. What was the client? What was the turning point? What was the climax? What was it? Everybody's looking. Was it his management style? Was it because he was a dictator? Was it because he was friends with his employees? No. Passion from the employees.
Yes.
Participate in the common goal of the service that's delivered to the consumer. They focused on the consumer and what keeps the consumer happy. And all the team, the whole employees went down that path. And that's really, I think, the missing ingredient in a lot of companies.
Well, that's what I was saying about structure in mine. And I'll tell you this story, and then I want to get to your lube or your product again.
Yep.
Because that's exactly what happened. Because we were growing so fast, dude. I mean, it was like every day was like riding a wild bronc. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Every day. And I've got all this opportunity in front of my face, and you're trying to deliver, and you can't. But you got all these other problems. But at any rate, Flash was another guy that he was a part of our circle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He walked up to me one day, and this is a guy that was convicted of murder twice. He spent a lot of his time in prison. Okay. One of them, he used to be an underwater welder, got hooked on meth. Okay. Made a lot of money. Okay. Smart guy. Got hooked on meth, got into a bad dope deal. Guy, I remember the day I hired him. He said, "Don't you want to run my background?" And I said, "No, I'm a good judge of character." He came in and saved our ass on something. One of the guys said, I got a guy that can fix this. He's a little rough, but he can fix this. And we'll be back running tomorrow. I'll tell you the story later. But so I was like, dude, he wasn't even done yet, but he was almost done. And I said, you be here tomorrow, and there's beer in the back of my truck when you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And he's like, well, hang on. Maybe you want to check my background first. I said, I don't give a damn about your background.
Yeah.
If you can do that, 6 a.m. tomorrow. He said, and he's taking off his shirt at the same time. Like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? He goes, well, I want you to know that I've been convicted of murder twice. And I was like, well, hang on a second here. Let's talk about this. And he said, well, I got into a bad dope deal. And he said, this little Mexican guy he pulled out one of those little 25s that shoot the 22 long rifle bullets. Yeah. And he said he shot here, and here. He said, I got tired of getting shot by that little fucking gun, so I pulled my .357 out and blew that motherfucker's head off.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, whoa, maybe we need to talk about this.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then he said, well, and then the next time, it was another bad drug deal. He said, but I wasn't waiting to get shot that time. I took care of it before it went down. I was like,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, but what happened was he took down a lot. He's dead now, so we can talk about this. But he took down a lot of big dealers to get out.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but what I'm getting at he pulled me aside one day. And I mean, this guy could fix anything, welding, steel, and that's all a concrete plant is in every truck around. It's all steel, and it all needs to be fixed at all times. And he walked up to me and he said, man, he goes, you get the best rah-rah meetings and the best, speeches. And he said, man, and here I'm 31 years old.
Yeah.
Bulletproof. Nobody telling me what to do. Oh, yeah. Okay. He said, but man, you fuck it up at the end every time. And I turned around and said, I do what? He said, can I buy you a hamburger? I said, if you got the balls to say that to me, yeah, I'll buy you a hamburger.
Yeah.
Because back then I was CrossFit and all. I was in shape, dude. Testosterone flowing like a freaking freight train. And we get there and he said, Mark, he said, you fuck it up at the end every time. You say you don't want to run a daycare or a prison. I said, I don't believe it. I don't want to have to treat people like that to get my point across. I'm not that type of guy. I'm a good dude. I don't want to treat y'all like animals.
Right.
He said, Mark, we're all convicted. He said, 70% of your staff, we're all convicted felons. He said, we need rules. We need structure. That's where the structure came from. Okay.
Wow.
He said, you need to turn he said, use me as the example. He was like our Red in Shawshank Redemption.
That's good.
He was our yard guy. You know what I mean? Like, he ran that thing like a prison, okay? Mm-hmm. So everybody came to him for everything. And if a message needed to be got to me, it had to go through Flash, okay? Because I didn't listen to anybody else because I knew that he had my back. He was always the eyes in the back of my head. And he said, use me as an example. Take the money out of my check because they'll listen. He said, now I want my money back at the end of the week, but use me as the example.
That's good, man.
He said, abuse me he said, do it in front of everybody.
Oh my gosh.
He said, turn it up to 10 and don't back down. He said, and when you do, enforce the rules that you say you're going to enforce. Do not back off. He said, and as soon as we get it to 10, turn it to 15.
That's good, bud.
And he did. He said, you're going to watch all. He said, why do you think? He said, we don't know how to live. Why do you think we went to prison? Yeah. We need rules. We need structure. We need this. We need, he said, you watch. They're going to start tucking their shirt in. They're going to fall in line. Yeah. Professionalism is going to go through the roof. Service is going to go through the roof.
That's cool.
Attitude is going to go through the roof. Camaraderie is going to go through the roof. And he was 120% right.
That's really interesting because in that book, there's a company that did the same thing in safety.
Yes.
It was all safety. So they hired this new plant manager or this new general manager, and he just said, I'm going to focus on one thing, safety. And then we can go to the next thing. But right now, you guys are having one accident per week or whatever the numbers were. And so when we fix this, we'll go to the next thing. And that's a little bit of a structure there because he's like, I'm going to fix one thing at a time. I'm going to put structure in place, and we're going to start with safety. And then he went from safety to productivity, and then he went bring it up a notch.
But starting with safety, that puts the employee first.
Yes.
And it gives them that peace of mind that you actually care about them. And that was the biggest thing about that.
Yes.
Is because anywhere else, those concrete truck drivers, they don't give a shit about life in general. It's the worst job in the world. That's the worst trucking job you could have, okay? And on top of that, they're not the sharpest tools, okay? Right. But they're not dumb either. They're doing it because they're getting out of prison. They need to get the stair step up,
It's a stepping stone.
Yes, but at the job site, it's constant, you stupid ass. They get called dumb all day long by people.
Oh, yeah.
Our customers.
Oh, yeah.
Just typical dumbass driver. They treat them like hell, So as soon as they find out that they're cared about somewhere, that's when they show that they care.
Yeah.
If you prove that you care about them,
yes,
and their well-being, they return that favor in spades. So
that's interesting. I used to tell my employees, I said, you want respect, what do you do?
Earn it.
You give respect, right?
Right.
Or you give it. You want love, what do? You give love.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the key. Ready for this one? If you want to be successful, what do you do to be successful? And nobody can really think this through because they're thinking, well, you just said, if I want to get love, I have to give love. If I want respect, I got to give respect. If you want to be successful, you have to make other people successful.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the key to successful companies.
Most man moment.
If you want to be successful, put somebody else first. Make them successful. And then when they become successful, guess what? It's a spiritual, divine way it works. You help people, the blessings will come.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of the companies, you can have the structure, but if you can't help those people become successful, and that's what you did when you put the structure in, you help those people become successful. They came in line.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're thinking, I'm a value. I have self-esteem.
Well, it set the tone for them, but at the same time, they wanted it because that's a dangerous job.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they're like, they'll tow the water for you because they don't want that guy that's unsafe or doing stupid stuff, always breaking stuff.
Right.
If they're not working, they're not making any money. They want to be there to make money. They're not there to play tiddlywinks, man. They're there to earn as many hours as they can. And if you got all these idiots over here causing breakdowns and problems and all that, and we're focused on that, they're losing money. So, bingo, amen. That.
It's good.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about this, Buzz.
Yes, please.
So here's the thing. There's personal lubricants on the marketplace. And it's normally for couples or, wife, husband type deal. And this, it's just a standard gel type deal. KY, whatever, there's lots of brands.
Is it gel or liquid?
This is gel.
Okay.
But it's a liquid, but it's jelly type stuff. It pours out. It has a viscosity of a little bit thicker than motor oil or something like that. But,
okay.
So anyway, I took that drink and at the Cosmopolitan in Vegas, I said, this feeling could go anywhere. It could go into ointments. It could go. And so came up with the idea about 2 months ago, say, hey, let's put it into a personal lubricant. It'll be like a natural vibrator, a natural tingling effect for the female. It's just a really good, unique product that adds upon what they're probably already using. And, people, I didn't really know how big the industry was, but lubricants for people, it's a big deal. As women get older and as men get older, the body doesn't have the estrogen, the testosterone, all those things that get the woman, whatever that you want to call it.
Aroused.
But
wet.
this is actually just as a lubricant with a little bit of an additional buzz.
Well, they like it.
Oh, they'll love it. Trust me. It's going to be an interesting, because I've never done anything like this. It's going to be an interesting to see the feedback, because normally, when I sell something, I want to hear the feedback. Is it good? What you like about it? But I think we're going to have some really good testimonies, and I think it's going to be one of those things where I've got option A. I can buy this personal lubricant, or I can buy this one that has a little bit of a tingling effect, and that's kind of where I'm going with it.
Right. Well, in my experiences with lubes, is it you can have sex longer. It makes you last longer.
Yes.
It makes the man last longer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you can, and for them,
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot, we can get, and there's a lot of,
you can go anywhere you want to go. You're
there's
safe
a lot
here.
of influencers out there that, that have a following, and there's problems in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And so this is a solution to a problem that could be in the bedroom.
Me and my ex-wife had that problem.
Yeah.
I was like, what is wrong, man?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into detail, but it's just like, this not enjoyable for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't finish in this. So this is crazy, man.
Yeah. So I think, the thing is, time will tell. I'm going to launch that in January. I'm doing a product launch January 25th. I'm going to be going to a trade show expo in Vegas. And
are you doing the
It's a product show. I don't know exactly which one. I'll have to look it up.
You need it. What part of the month is it? I mean, what part of the year?
January 25th this coming month in January.
Is it the porn convention?
I think it is, but it's not it's more the product side.
Yeah, because the world.
I think it's called adult entertainment.
Yeah. Okay. So the World of Concrete, That's the World of Concrete is the same.
That's the same week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to Vegas every year for the World of Concrete.
Yeah.
And we walked through that convention. Oh, dude, you'll kill it there. You
think
got a
so.
booth?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm launching my new product. Mm-hmm. It's good. It's going to be interesting because it's an area that
I might come up there.
Well, yeah, you can join me.
I will.
Work the booth with me.
I will. I know how to work a booth, man.
Heck yeah, I'm serious. It's going to be.
'Cause are you doing it by yourself?
Yes.
Oh, have you ever done that before?
Yes, I am a trade show.
Okay, because I was about to say, when I did the marijuana show, I walked out the first day going, what the hell did you do this for?
Yeah, there's two types of shows in life. There's a show that there's no traffic, no nothing, and then it's overwhelming. The overwhelming ones are the best.
I know.
Look, I give you a little tidbit here. When I started my cooling tower company,
mm-hmm.
I did 18 trade shows in a year.
Ooh.
And I tell you what, it re-sparked the relationships with the consumer. What are they looking for? How, and that's how. And I took the cooling fabric and put it in the cap. I didn't come up with that idea. That was, hey, why don't you do this in baseball caps?
Hey, I've got a girl in Vegas that is Tim in here.
Yeah. No, he's out.
Okay, I've got a girl in Vegas that did my coffee booth with me.
Yeah.
And
she'd be perfect.
Dude, she went out and chased business. She'd fill up all my urns, and she was like a mini tornado. Yeah. Everybody would come by my booth and say, man, you better give this girl a raise.
Yeah.
She calls me all the time, man.
We'll get her to come.
Yeah.
You can join us.
She's in Vegas. She lives in Vegas.
Yeah. It's January. I think it's the week of January 25th.
Her name's Crystal. Crystal.
Here we go.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
You've been asking. Here we go.
No doubt.
Dude, she is awesome, this girl is. I mean, she has got we sold enough coffee to where it didn't. And so when we were at the World of Concrete, that show was going on. So all the adult entertainers were coming through. I heard there's coffee in here. Is this it? Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So,
well, maybe the next time we come on, I'll bring some samples and I can just describe, the function of the. We can talk about the lip balm, the Buzz gel, we call it Sacred Secret, and then the Buzz Salt is going to be. That's the one I'm really trying to accelerate on finalizing the formulation because that could be huge. Well, it will be huge.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, man, plug your stuff again. All your
So go to buzzbotanical.com, and you'll see two products there. You'll see the Buzz Gel, which is the Sacred Secret, and you'll see the lip balm to start with, and then coming soon will be 3 or 4 different more products in different categories.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, welcome to all that Texas dust, boy.
Oh yeah.
I just got over it.
Oh yeah.
My cough is slowly going down, but
well, thanks for having me today.
Yeah.
Really
is there anything else you want to cover?
No, this is good.
That's a perfect way to end it, honestly, man. You nailed some really, really good points at the end there, and that was.
I'm looking forward to coming back on the show. We'll keep in contact and.
I'm serious.
Join me in Vegas.
Yeah, I'll help you do that.
That'd be awesome.
I love them, and it's a. I learned a lot of tricks when I was up there, and I was like, man, why didn't we do this before?
Yeah, no doubt.
Man, but COVID just killed it for me, man.
Well, we can go back at it now.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so Chris
Maher.
Yes. And go check out his stuff. This is one this was one I was been looking forward to, man. I can't wait to have you back. This was fun.
Yeah, it's
I
great,
appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Well, all right, everybody. Come on and like and subscribe and ring that bell. Comment, boys and girls. We need some comments. Come over to Rumble. They're not censoring anybody over on Rumble over there. So come on. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia. JoinTheMen'sClub.com website. TheMostMen.com is the website. info@themostmen.com is the email if you want to reach out to us. So come on over and join us. Let's have some fun. You have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Bye.